Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. I hope this video finds you guys safe and doing well. So we have J-Man here. He's in his P-43 TER, which is an Italian medium tank. Gone into El Halouf, spawned into the south, headed up to the northwest to hit the Brawl. So he is in a tier 7 tank. He's top tier. There's only 2 tiers in battle. There are 3 already on each side. All right. So J-Man sent this in. It's one of the more common questions I have. Hey, how was this winnable? How could I have won this? How could I do better to turn this into a win? That kind of question. And I watched this and I thought, well, this is a good learning example right here. So as usual, I'm not going to be able to go, had you done X, Y, or Z? Sometimes you can do that. But as a general rule, we try to avoid it. Really what we're just looking at is how can I do each of these little things that I've done a little bit better, make better decisions, and could those have potentially got me to a win? So it's a good example because there's some things he could have been doing in here. So let's just break this down as we go. He's going to head up here to the medium point. The mediums like to get up on this little ridge here. And he's looking for early shots. A fast medium in this position can get into position to get there first and catch people either crossing right this area right here as they try to cross, or guys who come up here and poke if you're the first one. So the 34-1 gets the inside. You would rather be where he is, but he's got it. So go ahead and let him do that. Don't cut in front of him. That's very irritating. And we're gonna come up here, and we've got some pretty good gun depression. And it looks like we're doing the third-person thing here. And we kind of creep forward, and we look, and then we creep forward, and we creep forward some more, and we creep forward some more, and now we're sitting here. So my first thing for you here, J-Man, is be very careful about what you just did here, because it doesn't take a whole lot of someone coming around here and seeing you and being able to poke you right in the front, right there. I would have tried to look for shots here first, then here, because the fast tanks are probably going to get here before the crossers, unless a medium attempts to squeeze by. But your priority is to kind of watch this, and what I will do is I'd like to be where he is, actually. I like to come forward, and I'll be looking this way, but I've got it zoomed out enough that I can kind of see if there's any markers crossing right here. So maybe this zoom, if you like the third person further out. I mean, you're way out here, so you can do it that way. No problem. Then you can kind of watch this. They're not really going to get across before you can swing your turret and get a shot. But it's all about prioritizing where you think that first shot is and minimizing the shots back. So I think you're not prioritizing the right place, and you have exposed yourself to shots from somebody getting a little sneaky over there. If the 34-1 does that, then you're probably pretty happy that there's not someone going to come around that corner. Now, you are covered. They would have to overextend to do this, but some people do that. They'll come over here and they'll creep, just looking for someone like you, and especially if they're not paying attention, they're going to get a free shot. So 34-1 moves out here, and this is interesting. Look at the AMD. He's kind of cruising through the middle. We have an IS way back there. The Tiger came up. That leaves a T-29 and a KB-3 as far as their big bads go. We have a huge crowd of people here. Nothing going on down the south on our team other than a Nashorn, so that's a problem. So I need to note those things. Like, okay, I got a problem in the south, probably the middle, but we have a big crowd, so I like this. Let's shoot him in the side. Very good. We back out. Man, I would have stayed in there a lot closer, hoping that I could reload before that 36-01 gets across, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to. The T-29 shows up. That's good to know. So now we go investigate this. Now, be careful about that way. I think you're probably trying to do the third-person thing, but I would have been zoomed in so I could get that nice, precise shot on somebody. Nobody there. KB-3 crosses, doesn't take any shots. Artie doesn't even shoot him. That makes me think there's nobody up there right now. If there is, they're further back. So I like this little investigation that you did. Am I going to proxy light? Is there anybody there? Nope. And then we kind of drive around, and you have a huge opportunity right now to get rid of their KB-3 and their 36-01 very quickly. Now we're going to talk about time and damage. The game really is a time management and damage game, meaning that the faster I can get rid of their hit points typically means the more of my team's hit points I can preserve, because it's taking your guys around the corner there some pokes to get shots on guys. We're very timid. We don't really go after it. I think you had that shot easily. And we kind of sit here and we're watching this and we're thinking, hey, how do I get in here? All right, there we go. I'd have gone for the track. And then we get shot in the back. Holy cow. or somebody got shot in the back. We see a shot, and you recognize it immediately. That's a good thing. The E25 is there, so we go after him. Now watch what this E25 does. This goes back to the time situation on how much time we have. And now I'm going to talk about flanking and getting around guys who are hold down or who are in a defensive spot. We have a huge advantage. It's an IS and a Tiger 1. There's an E25 that has he scampers off. That makes me think that there just isn't anything on this ramp down here. He may be trying to draw you in. You do have to be wary of guys that will be up on these sniper hills. But the way I would do that is I would let him go. Now that he's dark, I'm dark, and now I would go. And what I want to do is I want to get behind these two jokers, or maybe find anyone else who might be there. Relieve the pressure on your guys in the front. Make them turn around and fight you as well. But we just kind of sit here and we join all the other guys who are getting punched in the face. So the E25, oh, look at that. The E25 is actually running away. Even more evidence there just is no one here. I would love to be behind that IS and the Tiger 1 right now, but we're going to go to the front. And unfortunately, these guys are going to get a lot of shots they didn't deserve to get. They're going to take more hit points off guys. There's 300 off of that guy. We bounce him. There's another 230 off the T29. Just think of had you been back behind there. Now, the other option is, there's only two of them, and as they're shooting, is for you and your fast medium to get around. Look what the Arty is doing. Oh, look at that explosion right there. That was perfect. The little shockwave. Gotta like that. Just look how much damage your team is taking attempting to take on one guy. It's just one guy. He is really getting about all he can get out of this via spotting. I probably would have gone to gold as well if I'm going to sit there and shoot an IS in the face. So I try to avoid shooting things in the face. If there's an option to change the fight, to add angles to the fight, to shoot them in the back, I generally try to take that. So I think you could have either gone around, or you definitely could have, once they both fired, go driving right by them. Yes, Arty would have been a factor, but then that also splits the Arty out a little bit. You had hit points there. Your heavies were getting beat up. Now, your team makes a mistake. They push into an E25 that has fallen back and 3 artillery and whatever else is hanging out back there. You're the only one, it looks like, that has the sense to go back. Really, had they all come back, this would have been probably a pretty easy win. So you come around here. I do like that you did it. You're taking, well, I was going to say it's a roundabout. Not really. So you got that. Coming back, got the Pudel, and I thought, all right, he's just going to go after and get these guys. But we stop. All right, good enough. Not a good shot there, but RNG hurt. And now we've got 3 guys on the cap. Unfortunately, they've taken down 2 of artillery. I thought you were going to run away there, but you really don't have the option. So this was a very kind of a long period of indecision right here. You definitely needed to be pushing in. Don't worry about him. There's 2 guys on cap. You got 37 seconds. You have an Arty backing you up. You need to get in there and find these guys. This tank actually has pretty good armor for a medium. So you sort of get the, ooh, saw something shiny, squirrel, and you're over there, and all of a sudden you're down to 29 seconds. You know there's 3 over there. You saw 3 lit. So it's interesting that the third one hasn't jumped on. And that's their mistake, because I think they might have won had they jumped on based on you going over there and messing around with the Skoda T25. So we come in here, 10 seconds, and we find them, thank goodness. We knock down the Cromwell. That gives us extra time. They bounce because that's what this thing does. It's got really good armor for a medium tank. Arty goes in there and misses. Kill the Pudel. Nicely done. And now we just go in. We just have to go in. They got the Hellcat. Okay, KV3 shot the Hellcat from across the whole map, it looks like. Is he in there? No, the Hellcat moved. Okay, never mind. The Hellcat actually tried to go somewhere else. Now you've got a Cromwell. You need to just go at him. He's got 500 hit points. You've got 1,000. But we're very hesitant. Again, this is a time management problem. I am down. I only have 3 tanks. I need to get rid of him as fast as possible, because the other reason is Arty is going to reload and start raining on me. If I let him live this long, I'd have just been breaking through things, kept him auto-aimed, drove at him, and if I didn't kill him with the last shot, ram him if I could. Just like you're going to do, but this took a long time to get done. Took a long time. In the meanwhile, the M44 gets killed, and unfortunately that's just because he got spotted, it looks like. Got spotted and countered right there. Good news is the Artie misses you. All right, T29 makes a mistake. He runs in there for whatever reason. I don't know why he's driving across the open. Out there like a complete muppet. He needed to turtle up in behind these rocks right about here and wait for you to come back. But he's Mr. Big 29. He thinks he's going to do this. And unfortunately, he does not do this because the E25 has gone to the most obvious position, defensive position known to man. He's up in that bush, and now he's just pummeling the T29. The Artie's hitting him, and the dude just is not going to survive this whole thing. Bap, he gets hit by Artie again. 6 hit points, and probably a gold spamming E25 took him down. All right, now, in a situation like this, how do I go about it? Well, I need to isolate the threat. I would be headed straight over here and going up that ramp, and if I could, I'd get around this corner and get up behind here and see if I can't find some artillery trying to hide out back here. But at the very least, heading up this ramp isolates everything over to here. If I go straight up the middle and they got guys here and coming around this way, I am now getting pinched from every direction. This is what's going to happen right here. The other thing is, again, going back to the time situation, is you don't have a lot of time. When you see someone, you've got to get rid of them. If you allow the rest of them to converge, you're going to have a lot of problems, which is what we're going to see right here. We kind of come up here. Again, I would have been going over here and up that ridge. I might have even fallen back to my cap. That's another option. I like the aggressive idea of it right here. Now there's an M44. Go get him. I wouldn't even stopped. You're not going to get a shot. And even if it is, it's fleeting. I might have taken that shot if I was going to stop. As soon as I saw him running that way, I'd have started heading his way. The other thing is I need to think defensively, or I need to fight more than one guy. He's not the only guy in town. The E25 is very fast. You know he's coming at you right now. The other Arties are probably maybe 1 or 2 of them coming at you. So even as he crosses, say he didn't come down this ramp, because he's actually going to go down the ramp right here. Say he started cruising across this top. I'd have started headed this way anyway, because I need to defend myself. But he goes down the ramp, which is a good thing. He actually comes at you. So don't stop. Keep going. You got to, yeah. You can't stop in this case. I would auto-aim this dude. Oh, and we're slow, and holy cow, we're stunned. You needed to fix that. You had a kit, so that would have got rid of the stun. That would have helped you immediately. You needed to not stop. You're over-angled anyway. And I like what you're trying to do. You're trying to angle, but that little thing is going to get a shot into your really soft rear end, and I don't know if you have enough angle to stop that. Again, I'd have been moving downhill and around, taking auto-aim shots at the M44 and head over to here. I'll get it, head over to here, try to cover up via the E25. The other option was to go around this corner here into this little notch and try to fight the E25, but we just kind of stand in. We get one shot, and we're trying to rock back and forth. Oh, please don't kill me. He gets one, and we're just too slow. Boom, down we go. And, I mean, end game there, that was pretty obvious that it was not going to work out for you. Keeping moving would have been the biggest key right there. Force him to have a more difficult shot. Got to force the E25 to have a more difficult shot. Vice, let him just continue to punish you there and try to outduel. That thing's going to fire, what, 3 times for every time you fire? Something like that in there. And I think you probably could have got rid of the M44 with a little more aggression. The other option is to ram the dude, potentially shoot him. If you don't kill him in the shot, then ram him, and then keep moving and try to take down the E25. So yes, I think that one was really winnable. Your team didn't help you by pushing into the campers and the Artie. That's probably the biggest thing out there that I try to teach people is stop letting campers play. If the E25 wants to run back and sit at cap, let him. Go clean up all the guys at cap. Keep your forces alive and together, and then we can move in on the E25. And when there's 4 or 5 of us, it doesn't matter if there's an E25 and 3 Artie. We're probably going to take these guys down. No problem. And then just the end game stuff. I think early on, a little bit hesitant in a couple cases. It would have been nice, I think, if you'd have flanked those guys. You could have preserved, I think, some of your team's hit points. You may have lost a few, but I think you would have preserved more of theirs because those 2 tanks kept that push for way too long. They got way more damage out of that than they ever deserved based on the positioning and where the rest of their team was. Nice job going back. I think that was the right decision. A little hesitant on cleaning up. It didn't hurt you. That's the good thing because you didn't lose a bunch of hit points for it, but I definitely would have been faster about it. Just think about, though, that every time you're faster about something, it means you get to that next part of the battle faster with more hit points potentially on your team and more guns. Think about had you cleaned up that Cromwell much quicker, could you maybe have been up and over and taking shots at the E25 along with the T29? I don't know. Maybe. You were pretty far away when he died, but it was going to be close. and you may have been in there chilly pretty quickly, maybe even had a light on the E25 still for a shot. You see what I'm saying? All of these things that slow us down gets me to the next part of the battle slower if I let it slow me down. And then end game, I think you just kind of mismanage both your approach on coming in there and then dealing with the multi-targeting, and then just stopping at the end is really a bad idea. All right, man. That's all I've got. Hope that helps you. Appreciate sending that in. I think that's a really fantastic learning game. You had a good game. Nice job. 1,771, 339, 2 kills. Almost got there. But with a few tweaks in there, this one turns into a win. So this is one of those ones we talk about when you're a 45%, 50% player and you're wondering how guys get to 55 and 60%. It's every 100 games, a couple of these. That's it. A couple of these every 100 games, you turn your way, and that's the difference. That's what's so interesting about how tight the tolerances are between good and bad on this game. All right, guys, that's all I've got. I think it really is all I've got. Thanks for your support. Thanks for supporting the channel. Throw me a subscribe if you like what you saw or learned something. If you're looking for other ways to support it, you can find those down, excuse me, down in the description, and we will see you.